I'm now on my way to the T20 event at Galloping Ghost Arcade in Brookfield, Illinois. Stopped at a rest area along the turnpike. Tons of construction. The construction's really gross on the trip right now. So getting out to stretch my legs, stock up on some water and get some fruit to eat. Eating healthy right now with the protein bars, almonds, and fruit because there's going to be a lot of eating at the diner, Tony's Diner, this weekend. So we'll get the healthy eats in while we can on the road here. But we'll be there in, let's say, about 2 hours. We're halfway there on the trip. With where I live, it only takes about 4 hours when the traffic is clear. But with the construction going on, that's going to be quite different right now. But looking forward to it this year. I've been to 5 of the 6 T20 events. Really cool tournament. Always a lot of surprise games introduced at the tournaments. And one of them had 14 games that had never been seen on the arcade floor before. But there's a lot of great things like JoJo's Venture, Dragon Gun, a lot of stuff like that added to the floor. Super Muscle Bomber debuted during one of the T20 events. So it's a really cool event. A lot of really cool people participate in it. Glad seeing, it's always good to see them each year. A lot of people that come in, travel in for the tournament. So it's always a good time, and I'm looking forward to helping out this year. Got in a full day of setup for T20. Lots of games already set up there. Only need a couple more to fill in the gaps and we'll be all squared away for tomorrow. So we're sitting pretty well. So right now I'm walking down Ogden, which is the road that the arcade is on, and we're approaching here. Spent about an hour and a half down at the arcade. I'm really tired and I'm not playing games very well today, so I'm gonna head back to the hotel and we're gonna get some rest. But first of all, we're gonna stop at Tony's and get some breakfast to fuel up here for tomorrow. There we go. It's right there. There we go. Gonna order a big skillet full of eggs and meat and have some pancakes to go with it. And there's like a cow on the roof too for some reason, but it's cool. It's the start of day 2. I'm in the hotel right now, about ready to head out to walk down to the arcade for the first day of the T20 tournament. And as I said, there's a lot of really cool games down there right now, and hopefully a couple more new games are able to get added in, but if they're unable to get working, we'll just pull more down from the arcade. It's not a big deal. But excited to see who arrives for the tournament. As I said before, it's always great to see there are some people that this is kind of their once-a-year trip out to the arcade, their major trip. They stay the weekend, so it's great to see some of those competitors. Like I'm pretty sure Zurst is returning, and he's won pretty much all of the T20 tournaments. He's a really, really good arcade player, and he participates in La Kelly's Cup like I do, and is a top player in that as well. So it's always really amazing to see what Zurst is able to do with the games that are kind of off the wall and put out there as a surprise. So he adapts very quickly, very well. It's always great to see what he's able to do with the games. And there's one game in particular that I'm really excited about. And if you watch any of my content, you'll know exactly which one it is when we go through the lineup. But overall, there's some fun games to play. A few I have not had the chance to play yet, and another couple that I'll have to look up and check out for myself and MAME. But we'll get to that in just a little bit. For now, I got to finish packing up, getting ready, and I got to walk down to the arcade. We're getting things around, just about to start in a little bit. Have the secret machines under these blankets so nobody can see them in advance. But everybody will know quite soon, and by the time this video comes out, all the games will be known. But here's just a quick glimpse of what's coming up for T20. So here we are, T20 2021 has started, and we got 12 games that are unique to this tournament that haven't been on the arcade floor before. Starting here with the House of the Dead 3, switched up to the shotguns, a really fun game. The original game's probably still my favorite, kind of the nostalgia to it, but can't go wrong with most of the games in the series. And so this one introduces House of the Dead 3 to the arcade, so the arcade house now has 1, 2, 3, and 4. Next up, Irem's Risky Challenge. I actually purchased this game for the Sega Saturn in Japan. It's called Gusun Oyoyo, and I have this on the Sega Saturn. It's a puzzle game where you drop blocks from the top of the screen, and you create platforms for this little guy to crawl on top of and try to reach the exit. So in a way, it's a little bit like Tetris Plus, where you have the explorer that runs back and forth along the playfield as you're trying to drop the pieces. In this one, we have Nostradamus Shmup. I've seen this shmup before played online. What really attracted me to it was the just kind of the graphics and the crazy move. You have the charge shot that puts the giant phoenix on the screen, and that's really cool. I'm gonna have to play this one a little bit more to see how the gameplay unfolds, but I really enjoy the visuals on this one. And next we have Final Fight Revenge, the best. So this is probably the one that made me most excited for the tournament. So I love this game, and just recently posted a 1cc video on my YouTube with featuring Hagar, and it has the story attached to it. But it's got this one, it's the quote-unquote 3D fighter of the tournament, so it's kind of a pseudo 3D, but it's a new game. It's had some requests, so it's good to see it here on the arcade. And then here is Sega's Enduro Racer. It's a motorcycle game. It's kind of like Super Hang-On, but it has kind of more of a dirt bike feel to it. So you can actually lift up on the control here, and it does makes the character do a wheelie, and it's necessary to do the jumps in the game so you don't crash while doing jumps. And then further down here, Capcom's Battle Circuit, really awesome beat 'em up. One I've played on stream multiple times as Captain Silver, actually. So this one's gotten a lot of popularity recently, being included on the Capcom beat 'em up collections. But it's great to have it here at the arcade. I think this completes the arcade's collection of Capcom beat 'em ups. And over here we have SNK's Lasso. I feel like I've played this game on some sort of like classics collection game, but maybe I'm wrong. But it just seems like I've played this or a game very similar to it. But you just move a character around. You hold down a button to shoot out a lasso. Once you let go of the button, the lasso loops around, and any of the animals that are inside the lasso then get captured for points. So it's a 1982 game by SNK, so a lot of people are really appreciating it as one of the classic games in the tournament. Over here we have Hopper Robo. This game, I honestly don't know too much about it with Sega. It got released to the arcade floor a couple of weeks ago. Just know it's a 1983 Sega game, kind of the little single screen platformer type game, and I think this fits in along with Lasso, kind of gives the tournament a few of the classic games for people to play. And over here we have JJ Squawkers, the platformer, the side-scrolling platformer, go through as a bird throwing fruit at enemies. So it's a really offbeat it's a really cool platforming game with very muscular birds. But it's really silly, but it's a lot of fun. This one, Penguin Brothers. This one's new to the arcade floor. This one's also a single screen platformer. You control a penguin that throws bombs, defeat all the enemies to clear the screen, and then you move on to the next screen. So it's a really cute theme. Has a lot of power-ups you can collect, items to collect for points. So something that'll fit right into the T20 tournament, and great title screen visuals too. I love the animations there. And then over here, Capcom's Pocket Fighter. It's the Jump Fighter mini mix game. Has the chibi versions of the Capcom characters as featured in Puzzle Fighter 2, and puts them in a fighting game this time. So it's has a lot of simplistic controls to it, but it's still a lot of fun, a lot of great mechanics, a lot of fan service with the Capcom characters sprinkled out in the backgrounds and the cameos that are made. So people have been enjoying that one as well. And then over here, Sega's Jumbo Safari. It's a sit-down driving game. It's set up a little bit similar to Crazy Taxi, to where you have to round up, instead of picking up people and dropping them off at locations, you chase after animals to round them up and return them. So it's got that Crazy Taxi feel to it while still being completely different. So it almost melds, because you have to make sure your lasso doesn't break. It almost melds mechanics between Crazy Taxi and the Sega fishing game. So it's pretty neat, and people have been enjoying this one as well. We have Sega's Wonder Boy from 1986, another classic in there. For those in the US, this is essentially Adventure Island. Adventure Island is the title we more associate to this game, but Sega's Wonder Boy is kind of the original that set forward the premise. So you run through the stages, throw axes, collect fruit to make sure you don't go hungry. And then this is a double cabinet, but the game that's in this tournament is Carrier Air Wing, kind of the bit of a sequel to UN Squadron, Capcom shooter. Played UN Squadron a ton, loved that game. Don't have a ton of experience with Carrier Air Wing though, so maybe I'll have to give that one a chance while I'm out here this weekend. Capcom Section Z right next to that. Another shooter. It's a character shooter. Scroll around. Shoot, lots of traps to avoid. So this one got introduced to the tournament. Kind of another in the vein of the classics. So this one I don't have. I'm trying to remember if this released on the NES, but I don't have a lot of experience playing this one in arcades. So it's another one that maybe since it's here for the weekend, I'll have to give it more of a shot and learn more about it. And next to this, we have Konami's Boot Camp trackball game. Kind of like the mini games like track and field, except you have to use the trackball and the buttons that are down here. A lot of variety in this one. You switch between running, using the trackball to run, and then in the next stage you're using it to control a character moving left and right to fire at targets like this. So it gets pretty difficult because it really presses you for time, and if you don't do well in the events, it leaves you with even less time to do the next event. So it's one that's been challenging people so far this weekend. Here we have Fixate. Top-down running gun. Has a kind of a unique premise in selecting weapons. Your characters have to run over panels to switch their weapons, but it's kind of neat because it makes it fairly easy to stick with the weapon that you want. And I've only been able to get a few games in this one, but it's really cool. Lots of different characters you can select that have different weapons to use. So this is one I'll probably find myself playing a lot more going forward. Next to that, we have Tank Force by Namco. This one was already at the arcade, but it is a favorite. It's kind of like the Maze style game, except you control a tank which can shoot. So kind of like playing the stuff like Combat on the Atari 2600, except it's way more in depth. Has a lot more to it, but people are enjoying this one as well. It's good to see. It's a great game, and one that I'll need to play some more while I'm out here. Next to that we have Gun Force. Kind of similar to Contra, the side-scrolling running gun, but this is the team that eventually led into the creation of Metal Slug, so there's a lot of elements that look familiar in the game, but this one, it's one of the earlier titles. Can't remember which year they made this one in, but lots of power-ups, like vehicles you can climb into, enemies, all sorts of enemies that you can shoot. It gets pretty tough, so this is one I'm going to have to practice and get better at so I can see more of the game. And next to that one, Police Trainer. This one, we have a scoring track created specifically for this tournament for Police Trainer. So people are recording the scores that they get for every stage that they pass, and if they fail a stage, that doesn't count toward their score. So it's been a unique premise, and I know people seem to like this game, and I've explained it before. Like, this game looks so simplistic. It's deceptively fun, though. It was something that I had at a local Walmart, and didn't think I would pay any attention to it, but when I actually tried it, I had a lot of fun with it. So I think a lot of people are also having fun with this at the event here too. This was at the arcade at one point, but it was eventually taken off the floor for other games, but this marks the return of Police Trainer to the arcade. And then these are included in a side tournament. They all use the rotary sticks for their controls. And it gives Victory Road, the sequel to Ikari Warriors. We're playing Heavy Barrel, Gondomania, Bermuda Triangle, and Midnight Resistance. These games seem to have been really popular with the crowd. There is like a set that's already focused on the side tournament instead of purely focusing on the main tournament. So that's been interesting to see. But people, of course, Midnight Resistance, people have really been enjoying that one. And it seems like people are really enjoying Gondomania as well. All right, it's Saturday morning. We finished off day one of the T20 competition last night, and it was a lot of fun. Got everything set, everything's running smooth, and people are coming in. Great turnout. Numbers are definitely up compared to the previous years, and we're finding that people are really enjoying the games. Normally, there's kind of 2 or 3 games that people are overwhelmingly negative about, that they don't like, but we're not sensing this time around, and people are strangely into the side tournament, which was nicknamed the Wrist Breaker because it features rotary dial control sticks, and so that's games like Midnight Resistance and Heavy Barrel, but people are really digging that. So we got the stream set up, things are going very well, so we're looking forward to an exciting day 2 today. Just wrapped up with day 2 of the T20 competition, and since the productions office where the tournament is held is right next door to the pinball hall, Galloping Ghost Pinball, figured I'd go over and check that out because I haven't been over there for quite some time. So I'm going to roll over there and we're going to see what types of pinball tables we can find at Galloping Ghost Pinball now. And we just wrapped up night 2. We're getting into Sunday here, which will be the final day of the tournament. 4 hours remaining in the tournament, and I will be there and we'll be streaming it as well. So that's something that's really cool. Got a really nice stream set up with multiple games featured, trying to get people recognized and kind of get people aware of what the tournament is and sharing that with everybody. So that's been really cool, being on Twitch and being able to do that. People continuing to enjoy the games. A few more new competitors showing up today. So all in all, it's been a very great year for T20. This is the 7th annual event, and Zurst has returned and he's still in first place. So he's a beast when it comes to arcade gaming. So we'll see how things wrap up tomorrow. No one's out of the race yet, so there's top 3 prizes, and between 2nd through about 8th place, it's a tight race yet, so it's still anybody's tournament. So we'll see what happens today, but for now, it's definitely time to get some rest. All right, it's Sunday morning, which means it's the 3rd and final day of the T20 competition. I'm getting around in the morning, about to check out of my hotel. I'll be heading out back home tonight, but we're gearing up for the final 4 hours of the competition in 20 games. And it's been an exciting weekend, and I've loved being out here, loved being a part of the T20 tournament. I've been helping out ever since the original T20. I just offered up my help to Doc to make sure that the event ran the best that it could, and it's really evolved and taken off over the years. So it's something that's really cool, and it recognizes the anniversary of the event. So I'm glad to pitch in wherever I can help to make sure the players have a great time. But we're gonna get down there, we're gonna get down to the arcade and prepare for day 3, because it is gonna be live streamed on Twitch as well. And if you aren't already, you can follow Galloping Ghost Arcade. Is twitch.tv/Galloping Ghost Arcade. So you can check them out. Especially every Monday is when they release new games to the arcade floor. So there's a big stream that they do each and every single Monday, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. So let's check out of the hotel and get down to the arcade so we can get things started today. And there we had it. We had a full weekend full of arcade gaming, thanks to the T20 tournament this weekend between Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Excellent event, a lot of fun. Got to see a lot of great people once again. It's people I usually see each year at the event came back, and it's always incredible with their dedication to the event and the games. And so got to meet some new people this year. So it's always community-minded. Very, very fun event. People coming together to enjoy arcade games is what it's all about. And we got to see a lot of unique games, things like Risky Challenge. I love to see the Final Fight Revenge. I love to see more of those cabinets spread around so I can play that more while I'm at the arcades. Pocket Fighter is always fun. People really loving Jumbo Safari. So there's a lot of neat stuff at the tournaments. And so on top of the community aspect, you get to play some really cool arcade games. So once again, I considered it a success, and it was great to be able to help set up and to be on the stream, the Galloping Ghost Arcade stream. Lots of great people in the chat. It was a lot of fun. Kind of got to do the T20 stream that we've always kind of wanted to do on Twitch. Got to show off some of the games and get some of the people involved. So incredible event, very fun weekend. Have lots of videos and photos to share, so hopefully everybody enjoys those. But for now, I'm going to make one last stop. We're gonna go out to Tony's Diner one last time, get a steak burger before we leave town, and make sure I am good for the trip home. But for now, I have the 4-hour trip ahead of me, so we're gonna get going, and that way I can get home and call it a day. Thank you so much for spending the weekend with me, and I hope you follow along. I've been enjoying doing these travel vlogs. It's been a lot of fun filming them and putting together, so I definitely appreciate everybody who's been checking out the videos.